You can almost get the feel in some parts of Vancouver that you're not in North America any longer. That you could be placed anywhere. You could be in a central city in Asia, or you could be in many places in the world. We are the gateway to Asia, both in and out of Asia, and it's a tremendous place for us to experience and teach a management program that will prepare Canadians for what will be the Pacific century.
The growth in Asia is phenomenal. That's the best way of describing it. I think that anybody who's not aware of that is really missing the boat. What's that most of the growth that's taking place in the world right now is taking place in East Asia and all throughout Asia, in fact. But what all the pundits are saying, by the year 2005, the majority of trade in the world will be conducted in the Asia region. And of course, that has huge implications for a city like Vancouver and a country like Canada, of course, that depends on trade. So I think we have to be very careful that we don't miss the boat and don't take advantage of some of that phenomenon.
We're not the only people that have discovered the Pacific Rim. The Australians are here in force, and in fact, some would argue the Australians are much more aggressive. The New Zealanders are here. The Europeans are waking up to what's going on in Asia. And Asians themselves are waking up to the intra-Asia trade and business potential that up to this point really hadn't been exploited. So we're not too late, but we're not exactly leading the pack, and we've got to be more aggressive if we want this.
I think it's essential that we get business leaders in Vancouver and across Canada involved in this program to spearhead a new departure in education that is going to become a critical and integral part of Canada's future success in the Pacific region.
It's very difficult for a company which doesn't have a long history in the international market to rely only on local people. Then it's very important that we have history with the managers that we have abroad. You know, somebody who knows how we do business, and also we should understand the philosophy and the objective of the company. Then this is why presently we are looking for young people, you know, who studied in Canada, but possible if they have also an idea of doing a business abroad.
15 years ago, we gathered round the table at the college with a group of faculty members and began to look at Canada's place in the world. Discovered that our presence for business and trading purposes was not strong enough, and particularly as the early concept of Canada working more seriously with the Pacific area was coming on strongly at that point. We began to feel like, what can we do as educators to stimulate and equip managers to live and work successfully in Asia? And the outcome was the Asia-Pacific Management Program and the resulting network that we experience today.
We only take in 32 a year. We're located at a small community college in Vancouver. It's difficult when we're marketing the program into Central Canada in particular. We're the top quality of associates we're trying to bring into the program. It's also been difficult originally when we were dealing with employers in Asia who hadn't heard of us. We've overcome a lot of those barriers now, and I think that the strengths of being small are really coming to the fore. And where our success comes from is not necessarily in the size and the amount of people we put through the classroom, but the quality of those people and the closeness of those people from when they go onto the field to develop the network that's so important.
I graduated from UBC with international relations, and after that I went to Japan for 2 years, and that's where I first heard about the program.
As for myself, I'm growing up in Vancouver the past 15 years, and having traveled through Asia and wanting to set myself career goals in that direction, this is the place, and this is an excellent program for me.
When I was in Montreal looking for a job, I figured that it was very difficult to get out of the technical field. I have a background as an engineer, but I would like to maybe be involved in something that's a bit more management related, and I think there are a lot more opportunities in Asia.
In particular, comparing it to the MBA program, I think it's similar in its focus and its concentration. It's unique in, I'd say, the content material in terms of the environment and the people that are involved.
30% of the program is given over to the business courses: finance, marketing, case studies, computations. 30% of the program is given over to language studies, and 30% of the program time is given over to contextual courses, Asian economics, political analysis, even in our history course. You can see the intensity of the whole package when the original hook that an employer is looking for is only 30% of the training, and then there's this 70% around it, which are the value-added skills that make people both survive longer in the field and really become more successful in the long run because they have the big picture of what's going on in the region.
It's intense, definitely. It is a lot of work. It's not maybe overwhelming, but there are so many other things that get involved. You start dreaming about going to so many places, and you have to make tough choices at times, applying for different postings and considering which language you're going to take. So, yeah, it's quite involving.
The workload of this is something I've never encountered before. I've never had to work this hard or this focused, not particularly that the work is overwhelmingly academic or above any one of us.
The workload has been steep. Other programs maintained part-time employment. Definitely not feasible, I found in this situation. But that's both an opportunity because it's really allowed me, I think, again, to focus, and I think it creates that real focus of your studies and the environment that you're in.
We have 22 faculty teaching 32 students. There's a very high level of interaction between the students and the faculty. That's because it's based on personal relationships is one of the tenets that we strive to inculcate into people, is that they should develop strong personal relationships amongst themselves and with the people they do business with. It's also for us as faculty to try and develop those relationships with our alums, so people who will become our alums and will become the end product, this network that we're creating.
Asia-Pacific management has had a real privilege in that we not only get people placed and involved in Asia, but product. And the product is the network, and the outcome of that network is economic benefit to Canada.
And what's starting to happen now, what is happening now, is that the fruits of that labor over the last 10 years now are really beginning to come to the fore. To see now that we don't have to go knock on doors, but companies come and knock on our door, and that we're very much at the center of Canada's Asia-Pacific enterprise.
I think the associates from the program have several things to offer a Standard Chartered bank, and that's why we've come here to recruit. I think that the candidate generally has some diverse work experience, which is applicable to the business functions we're recruiting. The candidate generally has language capabilities in the countries that we're recruiting, and at the same time, I believe that the candidate has a spirit that I don't necessarily see on other campuses that I recruit from.
Having the people from the program, they are the kind of the interface between us and the customer, or between us and the country, and then it's a lot easier for us.
Oh, there's no question that the people that are sent over are key of any kind of business success. You have to, of course, be very sensitive to the kind of economic and political and cultural environment that you're going into. The program here at Cap College certainly has provided a lot of skills training in that regard. Your representatives become your ambassadors. Your companies are judged by the people that are over there.
It makes us feel like the world is shrinking, and that the bridges that you have to build between continents are becoming shorter and shorter. Having a number of Canadians now in place throughout the region creates another whole flow over those bridges, and it will together even more strongly.
Well, Vancouver is being regarded, is referred to these days as the gateway to the Asia Pacific, and I think we're getting tremendous benefits for being located where we are and participating in some of the growth that's going on in Asia.
Hong Kong is a city with a buzz that I don't think any other city in the world can compare to. It's New York and more. It's a city that works 24 hours a day. It's a place where people network constantly. It's an information hub. It's a financial hub. It's a services hub. It's a transportation hub. It's a gateway. It's a gateway to Asia. It's all those things and more. It's a pretty extraordinary city.
One thing that really hit home to me was when I was conducting my job search in Hong Kong. And the exciting thing was that all of the Fortune 500 companies are right here and represented in Hong Kong, or else they have large plans to come here. And that means for people like ourselves that want to be in Asia, want to work for dynamic organizations, have that opportunity. I'm usually woken up actually by the noises of these and the minibuses changing gears outside my window, so that I don't even need an alarm clock. Because everyone concentrates on working, the working hours are fairly long. So for instance, I would start at about 9 o'clock, and on the ash would work till 7, sometimes later, depending on what the workload is like. There's almost no line between work and social activities, because lots of times you might want to meet up with people within the industry, and you would go out and have drinks with them.
In Singapore, the pace is very dynamic. I'd say it's slightly below the level of Hong Kong in terms of the pace, but still very dynamic, and it's growing. People are going regional in terms of the focus of businesses. A lot of international companies setting up headquarters in Singapore.
Bangkok is an extremely busy city of 12 million people. Leaving the office, going home, leaving home for the office depends entirely on the traffic flow. We rate and measure the success of our day by how quickly we get home. When I arrive at 8 o'clock in the morning here, they're just shutting down in California. So all of the day's correspondence that they've worked on overnight arrives at my desk in the morning, and it allows me to, in effect, work like a 24-hour. I can work the whole day here, send out memos, requests for information, and have them work on it while I sleep. My career advancement has been, significantly increased by my move to Thailand. The responsibilities and the duties that are accorded to someone like myself in Thailand are much more substantial than what I think I would have ever been able to achieve in the first 3 years of my career in Canada. It's been the best 3.5 years of my life, and I mean that from a personal standpoint, from a cultural standpoint, from a professional standpoint. It has been one of the most wonderful experiences I've had.
Three weeks after the Chinese New Year, every year, the APMCP gets together somewhere in Asia. Traditionally, it's been Asia. We bring associates from 14 countries all around Asia that have had 8 or 9 months of living in Japan. Some have spent 8 or 9 months living in Cambodia. Others have spent 8 or 9 months living and working in India. We bring those people together that used to spend 30 or 40 or 50 weeks together, but have now been separate, together for this conference that lasts 1 week in the middle of March.
Midterm conference is the most important thing that people do in the program. Is a transition period from being an associate to becoming an alumni, and meeting with many of the other alumni who also come to the midterm conference. It's also a time when people get to share their last moments together with the class that they become incredibly close to, and internally they really confront whether they want to live long-term in an international setting, or what do they want to do when their internship ends. It's the 2-year experience, and the flow is so rapid that people rarely have a chance to really think about where they're at and where they want to go.
You come to the conference and you've had all of these experiences within your own country, but in fact relaying them and bouncing ideas off of each other is so important to understand really what you're internalizing within your experience within your own country. And also, I think that that we all can really learn from each other from other experiences in those countries, and it also makes you do a double check of, hey, just a minute, why am I there, and what am I learning?
The midterm conference is a good time of reflection, taking decisions about, even though I want to stay in Indonesia, am I going to stay in the same field, am I going to want to switch? And this is where the network of the program comes into effect.
To the associates, I think it's a good midterm check, you know, to see where everybody is going, how they're doing, your classmates that you've been together with the year before, and you've all had 6 or 8 months, whatever it is, out in the field in your placements, and it's a chance to share, talk, and see. The first year of any kind of involvement like this, no matter what type of work you're in, when you relocate physically into another culture and another presence for living and working, is a major adjustment.
One of the major outcomes of the midterm conference is that networks are created that are based now on experience rather than just being in one location. They actually get together, look at how they can do business across the region.
A lot of people have said the program is the network, and it really is true.
One thing that I cherish most from the APMCP is the network.
I truly think that that is the key and the essence of the program, is to have this network all around Asia on the ground. You can call up anyone at any time and ask them questions about their particular market, and they'll be more than willing to do some assistance. It's almost like a virtual company in a sense.
I think as you see more individuals in the field and the growth of an alumni group and the connection, the collaboration between people associated with the Asia-Pacific Management Cooperative Program, you'll find that there are all sorts of value, not only to Canada, but to businesses that are operating in the Asia-Pacific region.
And in fact, I'm recommending this program to our other offices in this part of the world. And also going beyond J. Walter Thompson, I'm talking to other companies. I'm very impressed with Grab.
The program is successful because the students, the graduates, are keenly in demand by people who are active in the Asia-Pacific area.
The whole world is rushing to Asia to be part of the phenomenon, growth in Asia. Canadians are a bit slow to take off, so I think that a program like this that promotes the linkages and promotes good information and provides support to companies will help to turn more companies towards the Asia Pacific, make it a little easier for them, a little more accessible, and I think that's going to benefit all of Canada.
The bridge has a number of names on it. One is all the names of the people who have really gone out there to learn the language, to be part of the culture, and to build economic relationships. The other flow is the immigration flow that we can capitalize on and use that human capital to improve our lifestyle here in Canada and abroad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I would do it probably, say, year 10, year 15, because it just gets better and better.
The program got me exactly where I wanted to be.
It's an exciting, dynamic group to be involved with. So you do it again? I would. I'd do it again.
The AP was the best choice I made.
What I remember most about the program, both in the academic year and also in the year abroad, was long hours, hard work, and extremely rewarding benefits. I've enjoyed it. It's permeated my life. It's been something that's changed my direction and really focused me on what I want to do.